Hey guys, and welcome to Outriders. This game is not technically out yet. It doesn't come out until the 1st of April. I don't know what time zone that is, so it's probably going to be the 2nd of April from me. I'm going to have to try and investigate what time of day that actually releases for me. I've heard about this for several months now at work, but I hadn't really looked too far into it. Then I'm like, oh, this looks like a pretty interesting looter shooter, and it's awesome because it's not online. So I definitely ranked it into my favor, but I wasn't going to play this demo before the game came out. I was just going to, when the game came out, play it from start to finish. But I kind of want to play it now anyway, even though the demo's been out for a couple of weeks. I really want to play it now. It's apparently really short. It's only about 3-ish hours. So I figure it can't hurt to just play it and see how I like it, get a little taste for it, etc, etc. So that is what we are doing. So this is the Outriders demo. Let's create a character. Okay, body type. So, male, female. Oh, I like the earrings. Oh, I can't move you. Sorry, I tried to move you and it didn't work. You really? He looks quite sharp. She looks almost blurry in a way. Anyway, customize character. This is doing a face shape. Okay. I have yet to find one that I really resonate with. Yeah, I pretty much hate all of them. I guess we'll go with that, but I just want to go on record as saying I don't like any of them. Wow, I turned on the music and it's still hella loud. It's bloody dramatic too. Pow, yeah, that sounds like me. Or that. Okay, there's barely any difference. Well, I guess skin colour would just depend on what kind of hair colour I'm going for. Because, like, we could go that, but I don't know what hair. Eye colour. Green. Brown. That's blue. Wouldn't have picked it. You know what? Let's stay with green. Hair. Oh no, it all looks short. And I can't even rotate my character, which is a bit of a bummer. Oh, yes, I can. You gotta use the arrow keys. Who uses arrow keys when that hand has to be on the mouse? Strike one for the game. So we've got this little dude going on here, a little bit of a mohawk. Why are they all short? Are you trying to be edgy? Because I've got to say, I'm not about that life. I'm pretty standard and girly when it comes to my hairstyles. Is it short because of the stupid armor? I mean, you could at least have hairstyles. And now this is probably what we're going to go with. Because I do braids like that all the time. Although usually I do on both sides. Asymmetrical, but on both sides. Yeah, I'm probably going with that. Can we get... Yeah, I was going to say, can we get the shit off her face? And the answer is yes, we can. Yeah, we're probably going to do that. Ooh. Ooh! Oh, this one! Okay, we finally got to the good stuff. You know, I'm probably going to do that. Because I have literally done that exact hairstyle before. Is this a bun? Oh! No, it is not. That's cute. And then bald. But no. We're going with this one. I wish I could narrow her face out. It's a little wider than I would like, especially with this kind of up hairstyle. You want the face to be narrower so that the focus is on long than wide, but whatever. Close enough. Hair color. We've got this ash blonde sort of scenario. We have silver, which doesn't really go with her skin color. We have, well, that looks orange. This looks like a strawberry blonde question mark. This music is really loud. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Beige of some kind. And then fake black. I quite like the default ash tone because ash tone is the best. And markings. Can we get rid of the dirt? Markings, piercings, makeup. Is the dirt something I can get rid of, or is that shit permanent? Makeup's plural. I've never heard makeup being a plural. Makeup is its own plural. Okay, well, the dirt looks like it might be permanent. That at least gets rid of that. Oh no, it's not. It's part of the makeup. That's what it is. I don't mind scars as a whole. I just didn't like that scar. That scar's fine. Even that scar's fine. Yeah, it's alright. I don't mind it. I mean, as an outrider, she probably needs to have some sort of... Ooh, I hate the way the skin's buckled. Ugh. It's realistic, but ugh. would have quite a lot of markings. Dramatic. I don't know, I'm quite partial to that. Now piercings, I quite liked those, but let's assess the options. Oh, they're nice as well. Oh, it's one ear. Yep, okay. They show me kind of multiple. How is that a piercing? Have you got dermal piercings up there? Ugh, that looks uncomfortable. And that just looks weird. It's not even in the right spot. It's too high. Oh, we've got pointy bits. Oh, they come underneath. I see. And there's just the top. It's kind of nice. Oh, I prefer that, to be honest. But again, it's only one side. We've got little cuff-looking things. And then that, again, is only on one side. And then, ooh, we've got some front helix action. Nice. I like that. It's a bummer that it's one ear, but it's kind of cute, and I'm all about asymmetry, so that's fine. Okay, so I guess this is giving her darkness around her eyes, so I can't hate it. Even though I didn't like the mud splatter. I think this makes her eyes look dramatic. That just takes it away and makes her eyes look really tiny. You know? And you can't even choose the color. Did a man make this? Not to mention that it's inappropriate for her eye type, having it just come out there. She needs it to come all the way across for the shape of her eyes. Ew. Can't believe I can't change the color of this. This is horrible. That's alright, but it's too heavy underneath for her eyes. Makes her look very tired. That has a certain art about it. I quite like that. It's an improvement. It still isn't ideal. It needs some smoothing with the... blending is the word I'm looking for. It needs some blending. It still makes her eyes look very small. Let's not even talk about that. Well, thus far that's probably been the most flattering, like from a generic makeup standpoint. Oh, I quite like that lip colour. It's a shame I would lose that. So I would either pick that or back to the OG, which is quite nice in the eyes. I just don't like the dirty look. I also should point out that your game that you play in the demo is carried on to the main game. So what I create now will be my permanent character. So I do have to make it worthwhile. Oh, not that. I've got to make her something I want to look at for an entire game. I don't know, I kind of like that because it's quite simple. That seems almost too dramatic. Her eyes look so tiny though! Let's just go basic bitch, let's do it. Zhu Ying. I'm sorry, she doesn't really look like a Zhu Ying to me. Just saying. What else can you randomize me to? Olivia. She looks like an Olivia. I'll take it. Okay, thank you for playing the Outriders demo. A message from the Outriders team. Before you land on Enoch, one assumes, here are key things to be aware of. This demo encompasses the opening chapter of the game in full. Any progress you make can be carried over to the main game. There are many side quests and areas to explore. You'll be introduced to all early game mechanics, though systems such as crafting will only unlock when you travel beyond the demo area. Drop in drop out co-op will become available once you've selected your class. Please see the news tab for more info on multiplayer and crossplay. Finally, a guiding philosophy to the end. You have to think aggressive. Kill to heal. Survival demands aggression. Oh, that's not usually... I mean, I have two very different play styles. Range, stay back, stay out of the fight, don't get hit. And the other one is just hit them as hard as you can. Don't be defensive, just hit as hard as you can and hopefully they'll drop before you drop. So it appeals to half of me, but not the other half. Oh, here we go. So this is Olivia. What a classy lady. Doing random team, prologue not finished, play with friends. Okay, select story point, world tier 1. I'm sure all this will make sense eventually. Enemy level -2. Okay, so they've made the world kinder to us plebs who don't know what we're doing. Tripped item level -2, loot rarity modifier. And you literally cannot get legendaries. Okay, let's go, Olivia. Let's go live. Why do we have a countdown that's single player? Whatever. I guess this is if you are with somebody, it counts you down. I don't know. I don't actually know what this game is about. Just that the Outriders are like scouts or something of that sort. Earth was dead. Well, that's a depressing start. We had destroyed it. Saw that coming. 2 colony ships were built to carry us across the stars. Only 2? Wow, we'll fit on it? Only 1 ship made it. We're all that's left. Oh shit, what happened to the other one? After an 83-year journey, we orbit our new home. What are you, in cryo or something? That's the only way you could travel 83 years and still be alive by the time you get to the other side. Unless you've mastered immortality in this time. The planet Enoch. Why did you call it that? Humanity's last damn chance. Oh, did anyone else see that? It looked like there's, yeah, there's storms on the on the planet. It's very green, but like a different green to what we had. And this was your closest choice. Eek. Okay, now I feel like I've turned the sound down too much. I can't win. God, that's not bad.
Flores Command, you are clear to begin descent to surface. Copy. Disengaging. Initiating auxiliary thrusters. Command, we are 20 seconds to atmosphere breach. Initiate burn. Rotate and brake. Primary ignition, set to 30%. Rotating. We are engine first. Altitude 20,000 feet and falling. Mode 1, we are getting interference. Switch to high gain antenna. Command, confirm signal strength. You're looking great, Mode 1. Go for landing. Engines off. Odd 1 has landed.
Well, that doesn't look good for the environment. Oh shit. Is motion blur on? Oh, it just occurred to me. Motion blur is usually on by default. Let's look at. Hey, is that me?
Almost looks like home.
That's what worries me.
Well, boss,
She has a very deep voice.
you ready?
Got my truck?
I don't know that my appearance matches my character.
I want snipers at 3 and 6, multiple defense lines, and an operating base established within the hour. Move!
Jesus,
Goodman,
don't
a word.
yell at them.
You know the stakes of this mission. Flores is already half dismantled. Our engine's on its way down to power a city of 500,000. Now, if these Outrider bozos hit pay dirt, you report to me first.
Sir, I'm
Wow.
only here to answer
What a
proper
dick.
procedure this fall.
We're not on Earth, Shira. There is no proper procedure.
She's kind of pretty.
Listen up,
I like her little
Outriders.
braids in her hair.
I know what you're all thinking. There's no going home. And no one has a clue what's waiting for us out there. But the ECA pencilheads can't greenlight this land until we find their missing probes. So let's do our job!
Okay, your first mission is to locate the probes dropped from the Flores. I would have liked to have read that, thank you.
HQ to Outrider Alpha. Do you copy?
This is Alpha Actual.
Down atmospheric, so messing with the radar. Can't get a lock on the probes.
Negative HQ. Our systems are all functioning. We'll set up camp further up.
Report to the camp for further instructions.
HQ, can you repeat?
Oh god. Oh, can you go around the trees? You've only just gotten here and you're already fucking up the territory and the environment. Jesus. It's pretty though. Look at those blue flowers you're just about to squish.
I'm gonna scout ahead on foot. Need to stretch my damn legs.
I'll take point. Don't need to see you get eaten on day one.
Relax, Outrider. You don't owe me anything.
Cab, I wouldn't be here without you. I'd be buried in the ashes back home.
All right. Let's move out. Stay sharp. Watch our sixes.
New getting arrival. Follow Captain Tanner. Okay. Oh, me? That sensitivity's got to drop a bit. Just gonna back up a bit. Options, sensitivity. She go right down. What is that going to be under controls? Here we go. Mouse sensitivity. Wow, that was already really, really, really low. I haven't touched that one. Where is display? No motion blur there. And no motion blur there. What about you? No, I don't see any, unless it's just called something else and I'm just missing it. I didn't think it would be there, but I was trying to be optimistic. Display, window mode, resolution scaling, VSync, window length, field of view, brightness, quality effects, texture, yeah, I'm not seeing any motion blur. Not seeing motion blur. Double press to roll. Oh, that'll be interesting. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. How is this possible? I didn't save this, did I? Oh. Doesn't matter, it looks like it's saving by default. I might just Google to double check that this is a game without motion blur, otherwise this is going to get quite painful. The short answer is no, there is no motion blur disabler in the demo. The good news is there is supposed to be one in the main game when it comes out. I don't know why they didn't bother putting it in the demo if they're going to be putting it in the main game. That seems a little weird, unless it's something they added after they released a demo, which is also kind of weird because why would you make a game without being able to disable motion blur when so many people hate it? It makes some of us very, very, very sick. We get motion sickness. So that's interesting. There was a workaround, so I did have to get out of the game to do it, which is why I'm slightly not probably where I was standing before. It kind of looks like I've done that. You just had to try and find the .ini file, which was in a weird spot. Let me just, I wouldn't have found it, not in a million years. And add motion blur quality equals 0 to that notepad document or wordpad or whatever version of that program you've got, and turn the motion blur off. So in theory that should have fixed that. I can't scroll in and out, which is nice because she's at a nice distance, so that's not the end of the world. Yeah, I like her appearance. I do quite like it. These flowers are lovely. Blue flowers are so rare. They're not too frequently occurring in nature. Oh, I like just the random vegetation. That's nice. Oh my. Oh, I can't sprint. We've got some glowing... Well, oh my god, there's glowing shit in the air, but we've got some glowing growths here. I like the vines. It's a nice touch. What is this? Some sort of particles in the air? I'm intrigued. I am very intrigued. I also like her form. She's got a nice waistline, nice booty, and the armor is very flattering. And she does stop in a guard stance. Very nice, very nice. Hi, Captain
You smell that
Tanner.
air? I can't even process breathing air that doesn't smell like a burnt carburetor.
I didn't mind the air back on Earth. I was used to it.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, you'll get used to fresh air too.
Truth is, none of us should even have gotten off Earth.
Well, we'd be
Survivor's
dead,
guilt.
wouldn't we?
You think any one of us isn't feeling
Control.
Not just that. If the Caravel's engine hadn't exploded back on
Jump
Earth
doesn't exist. Can't
and
we just
killed
make a
most
jump?
of the real Outriders with it, there wouldn't be a bunch of mercenaries down here in their place.
I hired you because you don't let anything get in your way.
Oh! So she's a mercenary. She's not a real Outrider. Because the other ship blew up. Interesting. What's interesting? You stop killing the trees! What's interesting that you had all the Outriders on the one ship. The radar will help you locate quest objectives, enemies, and more points of interest. Okay. that an animal call? Oh, look at this foliage. It's beautiful. I'm
We'll make
very
camp
impressed
here.
by the quality
Outrider, set a beacon flag.
of graphics.
Let HQ know the area's secure.
That? I still can't sprint. Assuming shift to sprint. Ah! Okay. I'm gonna just go this way. You could do your thing over there. Hold E. Okay. There you go. I have interacted. Oh god, now that I've turned motion blur off, are all these cutscenes gonna look weird? Since I haven't done it officially, I've forced it to turn the motion blur off. It shouldn't affect the rendering on cutscenes though, should it?
Alright, people. We got jobs to do. Cuthbert, Scarstead, set up a perimeter. I want fortifications going up within the hour. Jakob, you're field testing the munitions. Gutman, get your scanner up and running so we can find those damn probes. Outrider, a word.
Just checking this place out. Just gonna double check the buttons here. Forward, back, fire, use cover. Okay, so that's why jumping is a different button, because you're going to use cover more frequently than you're going to vault over something. Okay, that does make a little more sense. I'll give you that. Skills. 1, 2, 3. Melee is F. Yeah, I've had games with that case before. And yeah, I'm sure we can just hit buttons and figure that out later. Okay, well that answers that question. Oh, shoot. Run. Shift. What's shift? Shift, left shift sprint. Yes, okay. So I just don't have access to it right this second. Gotcha. Can I talk to... Was your name Shira? I don't know. Let's go talk to Tanner. Can't just press E. I mean, it's not like I'm using E for anything else that I know of.
No matter what happens out here, I need my best gun on this in case things go south. Can I depend on you?
Just tell me what to do, Cap.
Why is it so
My
shaky?
weapons haven't been fired in nearly a
Oh
century.
my god.
Why don't you head over to Jakob and get your gear checked, and then be prepared to move out as soon as those probes are located.
Okay.
Any questions?
No?
No word from Earth, I assume? It's really gone?
She went dark 15 years into our journey.
How do you know that?
More or less as predicted. ECA's confirmed no communication since.
Oh, shit.
Why is that camera shaking?
You know, I grew up a slumdog.
It's
fighting for
nauseating.
scraps. Lost everyone, really. Long before the end. Doomsday just wasn't a thing I worried about. Hell, I wasn't gonna live past 20 anyway.
Now look at you.
Somehow. I was one of the ones who made it.
More
I don't
survivor's
even know
guilt.
what I'm supposed to be doing here.
As things go right, time's coming you're gonna have to leave all that behind. This is a new beginning. You could have a family here. Build a cabin. Grow old and get fat.
That's not me,
I was
Cap.
gonna say, it doesn't look like it appeals to
No way
her.
around bullets, not kids. There's gonna be no need for someone like me here.
Maybe the old you, Outrider. But you're one of the chosen few. You get to build the future. Don't waste it.
Did your family make... What's with the shaking? It's just... Can we not? Did your family make it off Earth?
Did any more of your people make it off Earth, Cap?
My brother. Almost. But no. They got him in cryo as we evacuated LA. Hoping we could stop the bleeding.
Ah, so it was cryo.
But he was too far gone.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
Sorry to hear that.
I haven't had the time to think about it.
What about Sarah? She's good, right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
who's Sarah?
My Sarah's up there. They don't wake her group for another 6 months, but I can wait.
Partner?
I didn't have a chance to tell you this and all the madness, but... My little girl's pregnant.
Your daughter's pregnant.
That's how I got her the seat.
Oh my god. So the baby's just in
People in
cryo.
special, huh?
In the body?
That's why you've been in such a good mood since they unfroze your ass.
Oh, wow.
Don't push it, Outrider.
Yes, sir, Granddad, sir.
Gonna head out and find, what did you say? Jakub? Jakub.
I'll go find Jakob's shooting range.
He's got a
Good.
shooting range, okay.
We're on standby for those probes, so stay on alert.
Will do. Okay, I'm digging this so far. Jack Tanner. This is very interesting. You have access to a new journal entry. Oh. Okay. Jack Tanner, Outrider Captain. This planet is our last chance, Outrider. We won't get another. A veteran of many of Earth's worst final wars, missing space, Tanner roamed the globe as the leader of a highly trained group of mercenaries, lending their services to the highest bidder. As a mercenary captain, Tanner was known for his effectiveness but notorious for his unorthodox methods. After a great number of the original Outriders died in the Caravel catastrophe, the ECA approached Tanner with a proposition. Rebuild, strange capitalization, the Outriders, and embody their ideals to serve as humanity's vanguard. Tanner took the gig and gathered together the best of his team. You were among the first he approached, and he offered you a place at his side among the Outriders. Joining Tanner on the Flores is his daughter, Sarah, who also happens to be pregnant. She remains in cryostasis. Tanner leads the Outriders on their first mission on Enoch, to be first boots on the ground and secure the planet for the 500,000 souls. Is that it? Is that it? That's all that survived? 500,000 people. What the hell happened on Earth? Yeah, I get that the ships went down, so that would have been 1 million in total. That's still not many people. Oh my god. Aboard the SM Flores that will follow them down. Gosh. Who's this? Oh, this is this Digwood. Charles Maxwell, ECA Sergeant Major. We're not on Earth, Shira. There is no proper procedure. This guy's a douchebag. I haven't seen him for 2 seconds and I already feel that. A high-ranking, should it be hyphenated, ECA officer and superior of Shira Gutman. Oh, so when Tanner was saying Gutman before, right, that's Shira. Right, engineer. Maxwell's in charge of overseeing the landing on Enoch and seems to hold a fair few ambitions for his own future. Yes, that is visible. Doesn't seem too keen about giving the Outriders an easy time of it. Born in the UK long after his country had left the EU for the second time and was half sunk into the North Sea, his world was one of Dickensian destitution and depravity, not dissimilar to the dark ages of England's feudal past. But Maxwell was clever and driven, a political animal from an early age, able to dig himself out of that morass on the strength of his relentless mind. By the time Bruno Nyberg was elected president of the ECA, Maxwell was already long attached to his hip as his brash and brutal young military advisor. Are we going to encounter this person at all? He was never meant to have a seat on the Flores, let alone commanding a platoon of ECA soldiers, but Maxwell was never going to let that stop him from getting off Earth. He is self-centered and devious, and should not be easily trusted. Thank you for that. The Outriders and Enoch Colonization Authority. Enoch's governing body. We don't have a governing body yet. The Outriders were formed by the leaders of the ECA. Gotcha. The Enoch Colonization Authority. A hand-picked group of the finest specialists with scientific, engineering, and military expertise, with the purpose of serving as humanity's vanguard. As chaos unfolded on Earth and cities fell into rubble, the Outriders were sent as rescue squads into lawless, destroyed places and escorted many to safety. Oh, many was the next line. You knew what I meant. The Outriders became heroes in the eyes of many. But it was not to last. Disaster struck their ranks when most of the original Outriders died in a Caravel catastrophe. With only a few months before the Flores' launch, the ECA was left without a frontline force to scout ahead, establish a safe perimeter on the new planet, and protect the population from any threats. In a mad scramble to rebuild the group, the ECA recruited the new Outriders from various mercenary forces and guns for hire, with Jack Tanner as their leader. The Outriders were once considered to be the best humanity had to offer. Now, many among the ECA are skeptical of the new hires, regarding them as nothing more than gun-toting opportunists, loyal only to themselves. To appease concerns, the ECA has assigned Staff Sergeant Charles Maxwell to oversee the operations upon landing on Enoch. Maxwell's scathing criticisms of the Outriders are no secret. But the question remains, these new, untested Outriders will be the first boots on Enoch, tasked to secure the region in which our colony will be established and pave the way for all of us who follow. Can we really trust these Outriders with the future of humanity? I mean, do you really have a choice? Yeah, I'm gonna read that. Alright. Enemies, Enoch, history and law. Ooh. Yeah, what happened? Can we please get a story on what happened in Earth? In 2032, the Earth began experiencing aggressive seismic activity. Some blamed it on secret weapons experiments carried out by the world's superpowers, a tectonic weapon that could target any location in the world and cause an earthquake. Another theory posed that experimental tech that can manipulate gravitational forces was responsible, causing some kind of imbalance in Earth's own gravitational pull. Others believed it to be an unexpected effect of the global warming already destabilizing the planet, among an other series of natural disasters that awakened long-dormant volcanoes and kicked up sky-scraping tsunamis. Whatever the real reason, and perhaps they were all contributing factors, the truth was lost to history as the situation snowballed into catastrophe. Studies revealed that these earthquakes would only grow stronger and more frequent, disrupting weather patterns, toxifying the world's water supply, destroying cities, until the Earth's surface became uninhabitable and all life on the planet would be annihilated within a century. And then apparently we skip a little bit. The world's leaders were able to keep the coming extinction level event a secret until 2048. They knew about it and did nothing. Until 2048, when the first worldwide seismic cataclysm killed hundreds of thousands. Over the coming decades, as global disasters became routine, cities swallowed by the earth, submerged by the ocean, or buried by mountains, the world descended into chaos. Global instability, anarchy, and riots engulfed the planet. Throughout this period, many nations tried to find ways to save humanity. Trillions were spent building floating cities, space arcs, vast underground bunkers. But in the end, humanity's inability to work together and the sheer immensity of the task led to failure for all but one project: the SM Flores and the Caravel, the two ships that would embark on an interstellar voyage to the planet Enoch to find a new home for the last of humanity. In 2091, the last message from home was received by the Flores' computers. As far as anyone knows, there is no longer any life on planet Earth. SM Flores automated mission log 4190. Contact with planet Earth lost. Initialized diagnostics check. Processing attempt 001 to reconnect to Earth. SM Flores automated mission log 32663. Processing. Oh, so they're continuing to do it. Okay. Mid-flight report. It finally happened. I accessed communications today and found the automated mission log reporting thousands of failed reconnection attempts with Earth. Diagnostic checks ruled out faults on our end, and backup comms systems reported 0 messages. It doesn't feel real to write this. Earth is no more. Kinda depressing. Ugh, it's so much lore, but I'm so interested. Flight to Enoch Expansion Project. Arc ship. A brilliant scientist born in 1991, Professor Sibylla May Flores invented the eponymous gravity manipulation device which led to the construction of the grav drive engine, capable of achieving 15% light speed. Her discovery led to the expansion project. Many countries around the world put aside their differences and came together to contribute personnel and resources to the building of the interstellar arc ship. In its creator's honor, the ship was dubbed the SM Flores. Oh, did she make it or did she die before it? Oh, she had to have died. This is 1991. The Flores is powered by nuclear reactors and able to carry 500,000 people. Hence why 500,000. Gotcha. It is equipped with 3D printer factory modules that will use the raw materials of Enoch to build the infrastructure of massive colony cities. Edwards Air Force Base, located in the Mojave, never heard that one before, desert, was used as a base for a massive space elevator. More spaceports around the world, including Baikonur in southern Kazakhstan, Jiuquan in northern China, Guyana in South America, and Uchinoura in Japan. You really had to just bludgeon me with that pronunciation, didn't you? Were all used as launch pads for the rockets that would transfer personnel and resources to Earth's orbit, where the Flores was constructed. So it was constructed in space? That sounds complicated. Much more difficult than it need be, although I suppose you don't have gravity to fight with. But then there's a con as well. You don't have gravity to fight with. The plan also involved creating a scout ship, the Caravel, that would reach Enoch before the Flores. Carrying a much smaller population, its mission was to find a suitable location for the colony, scout the planet, and gather basic information. But instead, due to a catastrophic engine malfunction on launch, the Caravel never left Earth's orbit. The SM Flores arrived at planet Enoch after decades of voyage, carrying only a fraction of humanity. The Caravel. Mission update. The forward reconnaissance and migration ship, the Caravel, was meant to reach Enoch after an interstellar voyage of 80 years, 3 years prior to the arrival of the SM Flores. Along with other essential crew aboard the Caravel, the Outriders' objective was to scout the landing area and establish a safe zone for colony establishment, designate resource locations, and gather relevant data and prepare the ground for the arrival of the SM Flores. The future safety and prosperity of all colonists on the New World were in the hands of the Outriders. Unfortunately, due to the catastrophic engine failure at the time of launch, the Caravel was rendered inoperational. In the chain reaction caused by the explosion, over 8,000 souls were lost, along with nearly the entirety of the Outrider team. While the Caravel would never be able to accomplish its goal, the need for the Outriders remained. New recruits had to be found that fulfill the mission of securing the surface of Enoch for future colony. Oh, wow, she's long. Wow, that's very long. Nuclear... Oh, we've got nuclear power. Well, it's a smart move, I suppose. Drop pods, blah, blah, blah. Living spaces. The plan was for 3 Artemis X class rockets to launch daily over a total of 35 years, carrying workers, specialist personnel, and materials. In reality, it took 43 years until the Flores' construction was complete. And armaments. Combined arsenal. Due to the uncertainty of what dangers humanity might face in an unknown world, the ESA and the Outriders came prepared for all eventualities, including hostile fauna and internal unrest. Okay, so we've got cool shit. Awesome. Alrighty, there's quite a bit of lore that looks like we can collect, and I like lore. This is gonna get great. Talk to Jakob. Oh! If I press tab, it navigates. And doesn't appear to have a way to... Oh, it turns itself off eventually. Gotcha. Can we talk to... Excuse you? Shira? Shira Gutman? Nope, Shira don't want to talk. Oh, she's tiny. Holy shit, she's tiny. Is that arm just really tall? Anyway, as you were. Jakob! Oh, you're just over here. This is beautiful. Look at it. Look at that. Oh, I just got shivers. That's how beautiful this place is. Jakob. Again with the camera what is with these cutscenes?
What's on your mind, boss? I know that look you get.
I mean, I'm ready for taco breakfast. Okay, let's chat first. Last day on Earth was a nightmare.
That last day got really hairy. I wasn't sure if any of us were gonna make it.
We cut it pretty close. You can't stop thinking about it either.
I know. It's insane. It was 80 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like days. My knuckles are still sore, my ears still ringing from all the
Well, from
gunfire.
you, it
I mean,
was
there
days.
were thousands of them, all climbing over each other, slaughtering everyone in their way, and tried to pull down the launch tower to bash in the doors of our shuttles.
Why?
I've been in a lot of war zones, but that was fucking
I could
anarchy.
understand if they wanted to get on, but to destroy it.
It was either us getting off the planet or them, but we just did what we had
Oh,
to
you slaughtered all those
We
people
do what we
so you
have
could get
to do.
you could get out.
We look out for each other.
I mean, yeah, you did what you had to do, I suppose.
Hell, we better.
She's so pretty.
Other than the Captain Cuthbert, you're the only person left alive I know.
Oh, well, that's depressing.
I'm the only person left alive worth no.
Nah.
I'm glad you made it on board, you old bastard.
Me too.
Yep.
What do you make of this place, Jakob?
It's perfect. Beautiful. How long you want to bet before we bury it all under
Yeah, well, you're
concrete
already
and
destroying
plastic?
the trees,
Oh, come
so you know.
on. You can't still be that cynical. Just look at this valley.
I don't know, boss. Maybe we all just got too much riding on this. We already have one dead planet in the rear view. If we screw this one up too,
Maybe we won't.
sure.
Positivity.
Maybe this is really it. Maybe we can finally stop sleeping with our guns under our pillows. Stop worrying about food every goddamn day. Believe me, boss. I want this to work. You have no idea. But, well, people don't change.
Still got your money on black, huh?
The house always wins.
I do like their facial expressions and the way that they tilt their head and look like at other places when you talk and when you're listening. It's very natural. The only criticism I have is that there's not enough movement from their eyebrows up. I'm not seeing much eyebrow movement. There was a little bit with Yak, but not much, and forehead movement itself. So I would want more of that if, they were rebuilding the game, which they're not. And if this was a beta, but it's not, I have target practice.
Time to test my gear.
Up for some target practice, boss. Let's get started.
I have to learn how to shoot with, I was gonna say with a mouse, but to shoot in general again. Okay, Jakub Dabrowski. Take cover behind the crates. That was spacebar, didn't we discuss? Okay, so just checking my sensitivity since I did change it.
Ooh, fancy stuff.
Indeed.
Yeah, a new toy. You're the first one to test it out, boss.
Headshot. Not headshot, but a kill nonetheless.
Think you could take on a thing?
You know? You know? Oh my god, talk about terrible aim.
Just like riding a bike.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Alright, you can stop showing off.
Showing off. I'm doing pretty terribly, actually. Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, they're doing a really bad
Did I
job.
ever mention how glad I am to be on your side? Now give that sidearm a try, eh?
Hold Q to switch to your sidearm. What if I just push it? No. Oh gosh, I don't know.
Feels pretty good, doesn't it?
I don't know. Sidearm is not my preference. What is coming from the ceiling? Is that reinforcements? Holy shit.
Damn. Somehow 80 years has improved your aim.
Well, I was asleep for all that. I think that really counts in the manner you mean. Yeah. Just ignoring it and it will go away. Yep. Just ignoring it and it will go away.
Outrider, check on our ECA rep. See if Shearer's found any probes yet.
Well, I wanted to speak to Shearer before, but you wouldn't let me. Can I run into cover? No, okay, I can't really. And it doesn't leave cover unless I press that button, I think. Down works, but I can't leave with side. It has to be down. I think it's a problem I have with gears as well. Awesome. 660 bullets. Holy shit, we have a lot. How was that, Jakub?
What's on your mind, boss? I know that look you get.
Okay. Bye.
I need to get going.
I'll be here
He
if you
sits
need
down
us.
just for that and then gets back up. Sorry, buddy. Apparently I've got more important things to do. Okay, we still can't sprint, which is okay. She's not too slow. We just got a computer unmanned, or are you manning it? I don't know. Shitta! You're very, very, very short, lady. You do realize that you're losing your stuff because of the wind? Hold to collect. What am I collecting? Journal entry. Apocalypse doorsteps. G9 closed meeting, transcripts, year 2032. So this is when they first learned about the catastrophe that was impending, and did jack shit about it. Scientist, I'll take your questions now. Voices of country delegates yelling. Chinese delegate, are these earthquakes natural? Indian, was last year's underground nuke responsible? Scientist, we don't know. It is unclear whether this is caused by natural or man-made forces. German, I should say Germany. Can the destruction be contained? Scientist, we don't know. But our models suggest the next tectonic wave, a 9.7, will strike South America in 3 months. There'll be more tectonic movements after that, and they will grow stronger and more frequent until the continents start repositioning Canada. But sea levels are already rising. We can't take America. How long until Earth no longer supports life? Scientist. Our best estimate? Earth will be incapable of sustaining life beyond the end of the century. Angry shouting interrupts meeting. G9 closed meeting reconvened. UN Secretary General joint statement. The group of 9 have agreed to the following. The findings of the research commission shared among the G9 are to remain classified to the highest order. None of the matters discussed are to be made public. Any breaches of this directive, leaks to the press, social media, and any other outlet, regardless of intention, will lead to exclusion from further programs and may be considered as casus belli, act of war. The year 34, 2 years later. Guest, Sibylla, May Flores. We cannot stay. There will be nothing left on Earth to accommodate us. India. What is it you're suggesting we do instead? SM Flores. An arc ship, built in orbit, capable of transporting us to the nearest habitable planet. The arc ship will be powered by nuclear energy, with capacity for 500,000 passengers. An auxiliary scout ship, the Caravel, will also be built, to reach the destination planet before this arc ship, to establish a safe zone and prepare the ground for the first human settlement outside Earth. Sense of disapproval, contempt. France. I believe you're in the wrong meeting, Ms. Flores. The Star Trek convention is down the road. EU. You're wrong. A floating city built on the surface of the ocean. That is the only realistic option we have. My people have already begun drafting the plans. Ms. Flores. For once in your lives, take the science seriously. You cannot have a city in the middle of an ocean. There'll be no oceans left. I was thinking the same thing. Oh, Jakub will now be here. Jakub Dabrowski. I don't know how that A is pronounced, so I'm ignoring it. Jakub's always been a scoundrel and a grouch, but there's nobody you'd rather have at your side in battle. Originally from Poland. Okay, well, it had to be somewhere in the world, given the name. Jakub lost his parents in the siege of... I never know how to pronounce that one. I want to say Warsaw, but that's not how you pronounce it. And grew up scrounging the streets. He managed to escape to the States by boat as a young refugee, where he was happy to take up arms as a mercenary as long as he got 3 meals a day. Jakob signed on as a mechanic and driver under Jack Tanner, the same day you were recruited. Over the next 5 years, you faced combat together more times than you care to count, fighting for whatever country was paying. You and Jakob were the only survivors of a squadron airdropped into Venezuela during the fall of Caracas, and managed to extract 3 high-profile assets. You lasted 9 months together in a Syrian prison camp in 73. Oof, that sounds horrible. Along with Tanner, you and Jakob survived a chopper crash in the Zagros Mountains and walked all the way to Karamanshah. Holy shit, you guys have been through so much torture. I don't mean that literally, I mean like just horrible situations. Oh my gosh. On landing day on Enoch, Jakob is the outrider responsible for driving and maintaining your truck as you secure a perimeter for the first human colony. This will likely be the last time you have to serve together, if all goes according to plan. Oh, I hope so. You guys have been through shit together. Damn. Hey, Shira. Shira Gutman.
Oh my gosh. This is stunning. I wish you could have seen this, Dad.
Hey. You're Shira, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you believe this landscape? It's so beautiful.
Now, if only we had an internet.
I'm so tall.
Those two.
It's for scientific record. Besides, we'll have the internet up and running in the first 6 months. The entire thing was backed up.
I'm just pulling your leg, Shira. Any luck with the probe?
The scan's still running. I don't know what else I can do. It's just... How can the probe signals have simply vanished?
Yeah, they said it was some kind of
I don't think my
interference or
girl's very
something?
techie, so she can't answer that
Space,
question.
maybe, but not from down here.
Still, seems initial readings were right. We're breathing.
Yes, but before the ECA can authorize 500,000 more people coming here, we need the probe's data to know we can support them.
And if we can't, what's the ECA's plan B?
Do you have any questions I could answer?
I like that. But just, in the note of me being so tall, I guess, well, I'm assuming they've got different body types. She looks kind of feminine. I'm going to assume they kept the height so that the eye line of all the characters would be the same no matter the cutscene, rather than having to redo or reset eye lines and have that risk that level of difference by having a shorter female character. So, yeah. What's the plan for colonization?
How is this colonization gonna work? You're in the planning rooms, right?
Yes. We've already started disassembling the engine. We need to bring that down first. The nuclear core should give us enough power to get the colony up and running.
And when do the civilian pods start coming down?
Within a few weeks, if all goes well. First, just enough people and resources to get our infrastructure running. You know, water, food, and shelter. Then we'll keep waking folks from cryo, a few thousand at a time, no more than we can feed. Until, before you know it, we'll be standing in the middle of a city.
And meanwhile, the Flores stays up there?
The ship was built in orbit. It was never meant to land. We'll have to keep it in our skies until we're capable of space flight again. One day, maybe.
I don't think you're ever going to get to that capability. Now, I'm just going to say about these blue things in the background, just because she was talking about losing the signal with the probes. I thought at first that these blue things were... Oh, I'm not supposed to be using my mouse, apparently, in this cutscene by the looks of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't look like that. I thought they were, like, petals or something. I thought they were just, like, flora that was in the air. But they keep disappearing. So it has to be something to do with, I don't know, I'm not about particles and electromagnetic stuff, but usually that's caused by like electro stuff. So are they causing the probes to not have a signal? Are they disrupting the signal? That's what I'm trying to say with my very weird words. That's my thought. Just a thought, but you know, we'll see how we go. You trust the ECA to pull this off?
Alright, tell me the truth. You think the ECA's thought this whole plan through?
Well, my father was part of the team that designed the plan. My entire life, he helped prepare for this day. The greatest undertaking of human history.
Oh, so that's how you got on the ship, huh? Daddy smoothed your way?
No. I studied engineering. Spent years in orbit. Designed structure, drilling rivets into the hull. I helped build that ship.
So you earned your way on. Good for you.
It was my father. Just not like the way you thought. He gave up his place for me. He stayed behind.
Oh no.
Shit, I'm sorry.
You would have been in awe of this place. But in the end, it's just me. It's strange not knowing anyone here.
When this is over, come hang out with us.
Hey.
We're not such a bad
That's
bunch.
Bond.
I might take you up on that.
We all need new friends, given that we don't know anybody else, so... And it looks like the signal's back. Why? What makes you say that?
Hey, is that supposed to blink that way?
Oh, in the top corner.
Oh. That's a probe.
Tanner, I think we got a signal. It's close.
Excellent work, Outrider. Now go locate the damn thing, so we can land this beauty.
Copy that.
Hey, it's an historic moment. We should document it.
Are we taking a photo?
For the scientific record, huh?
Oh, that's such a me thing to do too. Oh, it's glorious. Oh, I'm loving this game already. I gotta tell you, I haven't even gotten to like the actual shooting part of it, so it could turn to shit real easily. But careful with the trees, would ya? But this is fantastic. I'm really, really enjoying this. Locate the probe. Oh, we got the... Ah, it was too slow. Shira. Engineer. Can you imagine what this world will look like in a few months, a few years? A brand new civilization. A second chance. Shira is part of the ECA's engineering team. As one among the Flores' essential crew members, she's had a hand in the ship's construction and design while it was still in Earth's orbit. On Enoch, she's been assigned to accompany the Outriders on landing day to gather planet data analytics and oversee the mechanical, totally so technical, side of the colony's establishment. Born in Tel Aviv. Okay, she doesn't have much of an accent. She had a troubled childhood in the city's last years before war and rising temperatures rendered the desert countries uninhabitable. Her father's position as a high-ranking city planner meant the family was able to escape before war tore through the country. Resettled in Montreal. That's why her accent's not very thick. Shira was able to get an engineering education in one of the few cities that still supported universities. Shira did all she could to try and live a normal life, taking in stray animals, giving food to the hungry. But in a dying world, there was little room for people like her. When armed conflict eventually creeped into Montreal, she abandoned her home and committed herself to the construction of the Flores. During her time in Earth's orbital station, she supported her father's work on the Flores. Shira recorded hundreds of hours in spacewalk while building the ship, and contributed to such systems as life support, hull reinforcement, and solar paneling. She sounds multi-skilled. It's delightful. But even for skilled engineers like Shira, seats on the Flores were hard to come by, even more so after the Caravel's launch failed. Shira's father, the only one in the family with a guaranteed seat, gave up his place for his daughter. Interesting, though, that she's put so much effort into the construction of it, and she's an engineer, so she's quite bright. Why wouldn't she have been guaranteed a seat? It sounds like she would have been quite necessary. Or did they figure that since they had her father, they didn't need her? I don't know. I don't know. Let's get a conversation over here I haven't had. Oh, Tanner. Yo, Tanner. I don't think we have anything else to talk about, though. I hate how it has to, like, fade and, like... Yeah, I wish it didn't do that. And then that'll be Jakob up there who we spoke with, and that's Shira. So it looks like we can go locate the probe. It's moving. Unless that was still my camera just shifting. I didn't think I was moving, though. But well, this bitch keeps moving me. Yo, come here. Can I talk to you? You keep whacking into me. No? Rude much? Hey, she's the same height as me. That means that you're the anomaly, Shira. You're the short, small person. Anyway, I'd like to keep going, but I know if I keep going, I'm going to get stuck playing for a long time because I'm going to love it. But #real life, so we'll continue more Outriders in the next episode.